Hello and welcome to my new video on COVID-19 and sustainable cities. My name is Jatin Lard, and through this video, we're going to be looking at the impact on cities by COVID-19, the economic and infrastructure impact, the overall digital divide, and what can be done in order to tackle these new challenges. City planners need to aim to renew and plan cities in a way that offer opportunities for all with access to basic services such as energy, housing, transportation, and green public spaces while reducing resource use and environmental impact. Let's look at the COVID-19 impacts. COVID-19 has brought unprecedented challenges to large cities. The high levels of global and local interconnectivity of cities leave them particularly exposed to deadly epidemics. The recent policy brief, COVID-19 in the Urban World, issued by the United Nations, emphasizes that vulnerable sectors of societies and cities are harmed both by the virus and the economic impact of lockdowns. Western cities lead in the world ranking of per capita income and development indexes, including hospitals, infrastructures, etc. But they were some of the worst in terms of crisis management coping with COVID-19 demands. They also registered very high levels of COVID-19 cases, highlighting the inequalities and large economic and income gaps in terms of job losses and overall strain on healthcare and infrastructure. Job losses caused by the pandemic lockdowns affected informal and low-paying jobs the most. The residents of relatively poor areas of the cities are mainly employed in sectors that offer limited opportunities for distant work. Their mobility depends mainly on public transportation, which tends to become overcrowded during rush hours. These residents experience long commutes from their home locations to their places of work, often with multiple transfers, thus increasing the risk of contracting the virus. They live in smaller and relatively overcrowded dwellings, which makes self-isolation more difficult and virus circulation more likely. The residents of cities are also greatly affected by the digital divide, which limits their access to remote services that facilitate working from home. Our current experience with COVID-19 shows that the transition of these extraordinary circumstances is far from smooth. More specifically, people without access to ICTs are even more disadvantaged than before. In many cases, the lifeline provided by technologies is only available to those who can access them. Around 3.6 billion people remain offline as of 2019. The situation is much worse in least developed countries where an average of 2 out of every 10 people are online. COVID-19 has brought to fore how precarious access to ICTs is in many parts of the world, and that access to unfettered and empowering ICT remains a challenge to many people. The effects are already visible. Cities are heading towards a second wave of the pandemic, which is a problem, with the virus spreading among younger age groups and data showing that the city's poorest districts are disproportionately affected. The problem of digital divide is only showing up more and more. So what can be done? COVID-19 has allowed us to rethink on how we live and interact with our cities. To build better urban environments, we need to move towards new models of urban mobility that reduce the risk of contagion and make cities more resilient, sustainable, and inclusive at the same time. Public policy should promote working from home wherever possible to reduce unnecessary travel to workplaces. While traveling for work is unavoidable, the use of electric cars, car sharing, alternative transportation options such as conventional biking and e-biking should be encouraged. Public and private transportation systems need to be better integrated at the regional and local levels, and more importantly, redesigned to fit new models of urban planning. Cities need to look at opportunities to improve their neighborhoods through the expansion of green infrastructures and pedestrian zones. Public and private actors should also coordinate their efforts to bring essential services, including supplies, purchases, and delivery, closer to their customers. New models of urban mobility, along with careful planning and urban planning, can gradually transform this goal into reality. It's time to adopt the 15-minute city concept, one in which all residents are able to meet their needs within a short walk or bicycle ride from their homes. The 15-minute city concept, which was developed by the Sorbonne professor Carlos Moreno, advocates the creation of a city of neighborhoods in which workers find everything they need in terms of work, retail, and leisure within 15 minutes of their home. In a work context, this would see offices added to neighborhoods that lacked them so people could work closer to where they live. There would also be local co-working hubs enabling them to come together for meetings and to collaborate when necessary. Along with the new models for sustainability, it's also important to shift to virtual workspaces, focus on critical infrastructure, which includes stable electricity supply, in addition to looking at digital services and stable internet connectivity. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more such topics on technology, sustainability, energy, and more. Thank you.